Listen to me. I need you to hear me with your heart right now, not just your ears, because what I'm about to tell you can literally shift the course of your life. 21 days. That's it. I'm not talking about 21 years. I'm not talking about waiting for the perfect season. I'm not talking about some miracle falling out of the sky. I'm talking about 3 weeks of your life. If you can give me 21 days of real discipline, I promise you, your future, your mindset, your habits, your results will never look the same again. But here's the truth. Most of you don't finish what you start. Most of you get hyped for a moment, motivated for a day, maybe even disciplined for a week, and then you fall right back into the same old patterns. And that's why nothing changes. That's why you keep waking up to the same struggle, the same excuses, the same disappointment in yourself. I came to tell you today, this time is different, because I'm about to show you that if you lock in for 21 days straight, if you refuse to negotiate with your excuses, if you decide once and for all that discipline will run your life instead of comfort, then you're going to step into a version of yourself you didn't even know existed. So don't you dare check out. Don't you dare get distracted. Stay with me for the next few minutes. Listen with urgency, because this isn't just another speech. This is the blueprint. This is the challenge. This is the moment where you either keep living average or you start living disciplined. And if you give me your attention right now, if you lean in and apply what I'm about to share, 21 days from today, you won't even recognize the person staring back at you in the mirror. Discipline is the seed of transformation. I need you to get that deep in your spirit. Nothing in your life changes until discipline shows up. You can dream all day. You can set goals. You can write them on your wall. You can post them on social media. But until discipline becomes the daily decision, nothing shifts. See, motivation might light the fire, but discipline keeps it burning. Motivation gets you started, but discipline is what carries you through when the feeling is gone. Think about it. How many times have you been excited about something? You started the workout program. You bought the books, you made the business plan, you swore you were done with bad habits. You felt unstoppable that first day, but then life hit you. You got tired, you got distracted, you got frustrated, and the motivation that was so strong on day one started to fade. That's because motivation is an emotion, but discipline is a decision. Motivation is temporary, discipline is permanent. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline says, I don't care if you're tired. I don't care if you're stressed. I don't care if you don't feel like it. You said you would do it, so get it done. And here's the beauty of it. Once discipline enters your life, everything begins to transform. Discipline is not about punishing yourself. It's about freeing yourself. Because the truth is, without discipline, you're already a slave. You're a slave to procrastination. You're a slave to distractions. You're a slave to your emotions. But when you choose discipline, you flip the script. You take control back. You start running your day instead of your day running you. You start directing your energy instead of wasting it on things that don't matter. Discipline is the seed, and when you plant it, the fruit is transformation. I know some of you are thinking, but it's just 21 days. How can that change my life? Listen to me. It's not about the number. It's about what happens inside those days. For 21 days, you're proving to yourself that you can override your feelings. For 21 days, you're showing yourself that you can command your mind, your body, your habits. And if you can do it for 21 days, you can do it for 21 months If you can do it for 21 months, you can do it for 21 years. But it all starts with planting that seed. Some of you have been waiting for a big break, waiting for a miracle, waiting for something outside of you to shift your life. But discipline is the miracle. Discipline is the break. Because once you build discipline, you don't need luck. You don't need chances. You create results. Discipline makes you reliable. Discipline makes you consistent. Discipline makes you unstoppable. Let me give you an example. When a farmer plants a seed, he doesn't go back the next day expecting a tree. He doesn't dig it up every morning to see if it's growing. He understands that if he keeps watering it, if he keeps protecting it, eventually that seed is going to break through the soil. That's how discipline works. You might not see the results on day 2. You might not feel the difference on day 5. But every single day you show up, every single day you choose discipline over comfort, that seed is being watered. And when the breakthrough comes, people will look at you and say, "How did you change so fast?" But they didn't see the 21 days you were planting. They didn't see the nights you wanted to quit, the mornings you didn't want to get up, the sacrifices you made. They'll see the fruit, but you'll know it started with a seed called discipline. You got to stop looking at discipline like it's punishment. Discipline is the highest form of self-love. Discipline says, I love myself too much to stay stuck. I love myself too much to keep living average. I love myself too much to settle for less than I deserve. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you're building confidence. Every time you follow through, you're proving to yourself that you can be trusted. And the more you trust yourself, the more powerful you become. And let me be real with you, it's not gonna be easy. Discipline never feels good in the beginning. It hurts to wake up earlier than you want to. It's uncomfortable to push your body past its limits. It's frustrating to sit down and focus when distractions are calling your name. But understand this pain is temporary, regret is permanent. You can suffer for a few moments of discipline now, or suffer for a lifetime of knowing you could have been more, done more, lived more. The reason so many people never transform is because they quit before the seed has time to grow. They start planting, but the moment it gets hard, they dig it back up. They want the reward without the sacrifice, the breakthrough without the struggle. But life doesn't work like that. Transformation requires endurance. You can't microwave greatness. You have to cultivate it. And that cultivation process is discipline. So I need you to decide right now, are you going to let your feelings run your life? Or are you going to let discipline build your life? Are you going to keep living at the mercy of excuses? Or are you going to step into a season of transformation? You've been saying for years, one day I'll get serious. One day I'll be consistent. One day I'll stop playing around. Well, today is that day. 21 days. Not next month, not next year. Right now. Discipline is the seed, and if you plant it today, your life will never look the same. Small, consistent actions create big shifts. Don't miss that. Some of you think it takes something massive to change your life. You think you need to move mountains overnight. But I'm here to tell you, it's the small things done consistently that separate average from extraordinary. It's the daily choices, the little decisions, the habits nobody else sees that shape the life everybody else eventually notices. You want to know why most people never change? Because they underestimate the power of consistency. They start something, but they don't stick with it. They're looking for overnight success, instant gratification, quick results. But real transformation doesn't come in a flash. It comes one day at a time, one action at a time, one choice at a time. The gym session you show up for when you're tired. The chapter you read when you don't feel like studying. The dollar you save instead of spending. The apology you make instead of holding pride. These are the building blocks of change. Listen, anybody can be great for one day. Anybody can have a burst of energy, a surge of motivation, a short sprint of effort. But can you show up tomorrow? Can you do it again the next day? Can you push yourself even when nobody's watching, when nobody's cheering, when nobody even knows what you're doing? That's the test. Consistency is the proof of discipline. Consistency is what turns actions into habits and habits into lifestyle. Think about it. A drop of water hitting a rock doesn't break it in one strike. But if it keeps hitting the same spot every single day, eventually that rock splits. That's the power of consistency. It doesn't always look powerful in the moment. You might not see the results right away, but over time, those small, consistent drops add up and the breakthrough comes. Some of you quit because you don't see results fast enough. You started eating healthy for 2 weeks and didn't lose 20 pounds, so you gave up. You studied for a month and didn't get straight A's. So you said it doesn't work. You tried waking up early for a few mornings, and when it got hard, you went right back to old habits. You keep digging up the seed before it has time to grow. You don't give consistency a chance to work. The truth is, consistency doesn't just change your results, it changes you. Every time you show up, you're building a version of yourself that refuses to quit. Every day you follow through, you're training your mind to trust yourself. Every small action compounds. You might not see the growth daily, but your character, your mindset, your resilience are being built. And those qualities will outlast any quick result. Let me make it plain. You can't run a marathon on day one, but you can lace up your shoes and jog around the block. You can't build a 6-figure business overnight, but you can send one email, make one call, design one product. You can't become fluent in a new language in a week, but you can learn a few words every day. Over time, those blocks stack, those steps add up, those days accumulate, and before you know it, you've built something extraordinary from small, consistent actions. I want you to stop despising small beginnings. Stop thinking your effort isn't big enough. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Greatness is built in the shadows before it's celebrated in the spotlight. Champions are made in the repetitions nobody counts. Success is earned in the lonely hours when you're consistent and faithful to the grind. And here's the kicker. Consistency isn't glamorous, it's boring. It's repetitive, it feels routine. That's why so many people don't stick with it. They're addicted to excitement, to hype, to newness. But the people who win in life aren't the ones who chase excitement. They're the ones who master consistency. They know that doing the same right thing over and over produces the results everyone else dreams about. You want your life to shift. Stop waiting for one giant breakthrough moment. Start stacking small wins daily. Wake up on time. Keep your word. Do the workout. Read the book. Save the money. Control your tongue. Pray. Plan. Practice. Those actions may seem small, but they are not insignificant. They are bricks. And every day you lay one down, you're building a foundation that cannot be shaken. The 21-day challenge isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. You're not trying to conquer the world in 3 weeks. You're trying to prove to yourself that you can show up, that you can keep a promise, that you can choose discipline daily. Once you see what you're capable of over 21 days, You'll stop doubting your ability to create bigger changes. You'll realize that the life you want isn't built by doing something once. It's built by doing something daily. And let me tell you something powerful. Consistency compounds. What starts small grows. One push up turns into 10. $10 saved turns into 1,000. One chapter read turns into a whole library of knowledge. One disciplined choice turns into a lifestyle of discipline. And over time, the gap between who you were and who you've become will shock you. You won't just look different, you'll be different. So stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect opportunity. Stop telling yourself you'll start when things calm down, when you have more time, when you feel more ready. You'll never feel completely ready. The perfect time is now, and the power is in consistency. Show up, do the work, day after day. Small actions, big shifts. That's how transformation happens. Because when you look back after 21 days, you won't just see tasks completed, you'll see a new person staring back at you. And that's the person you've been waiting to become all along. Discipline breaks the chains of excuses. I need you to feel that, because right now, some of you are still prisoners of your own excuses. Every time something gets hard, every time it gets uncomfortable, you've got a reason ready. You say you're too tired, too busy, too broke, too stressed, too young, too old. You've built an entire lifestyle around justifying why you can't. And let me tell you, as long as you let excuses run your life, discipline will never have a place in it. But when you commit to 21 days of discipline, those excuses start to lose their power. Discipline doesn't negotiate. Discipline doesn't bargain. Discipline doesn't care about your feelings, your moods, or your comfort. Discipline says, you made a decision, so get it done. And when you start living that way, excuses can't chain you anymore. They don't even fit your new mindset. The problem is, excuses feel safe. They let you off the hook. They give you permission to stay average. Because as long as you can explain why you didn't do it, you don't have to feel guilty about not becoming who you were supposed to be. Excuses are comfortable, but they're killing your future. They sound like protection, but they're really prison bars. Every time you say, I can't, I'll do it later, or it's not the right time, you're building the walls higher, keeping yourself trapped in the same cycle year after year. And here's the truth. You don't even believe your own excuses. You say them to yourself, you say them to other people, but deep down you know they're lies. You know you could have done more. You know you had time, but wasted it. You know you could have sacrificed, but chose comfort. That's why it hurts at night. That's why you feel frustrated. That's why no matter how much you try to convince yourself, there's always that voice inside saying, you know you're better than this. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline silences that voice of doubt, not by covering it with excuses, but by proving it wrong with action. Discipline says, I don't care if I feel like it or not. I'm showing up. And the more you show up, the weaker your excuses become. You stop saying, I don't have time, because discipline has taught you to make time. You stop saying, I can't do it, because discipline has shown you that you can. You stop saying, it's too hard, because discipline has already carried you through harder things. Think about the times you gave in to excuses. Think about what it cost you, the opportunities you missed, the relationships you lost, the health you neglected, the dreams you abandoned, all because an excuse sounded easier in the moment. Excuses don't just keep you from doing something today. They rob you of everything you could have had tomorrow. But on the flip side, think about the moments you pushed past excuses. Remember when you didn't want to go, but you went anyway. When you didn't want to work, but you pushed through. When you felt like quitting, but you finished. Those are the moments you felt alive. Those are the moments you built confidence. Those are the moments you proved to yourself you're stronger than you thought. That's the power of discipline. It rewrites your story. And don't get it twisted. Excuses will keep showing up. They'll always be there, whispering in your ear. But once you've walked in discipline, you'll recognize them for what they are: lies. Lies meant to keep you weak. Lies meant to keep you average. And instead of giving in, you'll stand up and say, not today. I've got work to do. I've got a future to build. I remember someone saying, excuses are monuments of nothingness. They build bridges to nowhere. And it's true. You can stack excuses as high as you want, but they'll never carry you to the life you want. Only discipline can build that bridge. Only discipline can carry you to the other side. That's why 21 days of discipline matters. Because in those 21 days, you're not just building a habit, you're breaking chains. You're proving to yourself that you don't have to live bound by excuses anymore. You're training your mind to push past comfort, to keep moving when it's tough, to stay focused when distractions come. And once you've tasted that kind of freedom, you'll never go back. Some of you right now are one decision away from changing everything. One moment of saying, no more excuses. One moment of saying, I'm done blaming my circumstances, my past, my environment, my lack of resources. From now on, I choose discipline. That one decision can shift the entire trajectory of your life. Because the second you stop making excuses, you start making progress. Let me be clear. Excuses will always cost you more than discipline ever will. Discipline might cost you some comfort, some sleep, some short-term pleasure. But excuses will cost you your dreams, your potential, your purpose. And you've got to decide what's more expensive, giving up a little comfort now or giving up your future forever. The next time you hear that voice trying to convince you to quit, I need you to remember this. Discipline is stronger. Every excuse is a lie designed to hold you back, but discipline is the truth that sets you free. You have the power to break those chains. You have the power to stop hiding behind excuses and start living behind execution. And when you do, when you finally break free, you'll realize that excuses were never your problem. Lack of discipline was. Because when discipline shows up, excuses have no room to stay. So don't tell me why you can't. Show me how you will. Don't tell me the reasons it's impossible. Show me the discipline that makes it possible. Stop letting excuses be the chains around your ankles. Break free. And the only key that unlocks that prison is called discipline. 21 days builds the foundation for a lifetime. I need you to hear me on this, because this is bigger than just a challenge. This is bigger than just proving you can do something for 3 weeks. This is about what those 3 weeks create in you that carries into the rest of your life. Some of you think this ends on day 21, but the truth is that's when it begins. The first 21 days are just the test, the preparation, the breaking in. After that, it's not about keeping a streak. It's about living a new lifestyle. When you discipline yourself for 21 days straight, you're doing more than building a habit. You're building a foundation, and foundations don't get celebrated. Nobody applauds when the concrete is poured. Nobody's clapping when the ground is leveled. But you can't build anything tall. You can't build anything strong. You can't build anything that lasts without it. The 21 days are your foundation. And once that foundation is in place, you can build a future on top of it that won't crumble when life gets tough. See, a lot of people start things, but never finish because they don't have a foundation. They rely on hype. They rely on feelings. They rely on temporary inspiration. But when the storms come, and trust me, storms always come, they collapse. That's why you keep stopping and starting over, not critics. Over and over again. Because every time you quit, you tear down the little progress you had. But if you stick with it, if you give yourself 21 days of pure discipline, you pour a foundation that doesn't crack under pressure. And once you have that, you'll start to see something powerful. You'll stop negotiating with yourself. You'll stop questioning whether you should keep going. It'll no longer be a matter of if. You do the work. It'll be a matter of when. That's what discipline does when it becomes a foundation. It shifts your identity. You're not someone who trees to stay consistent anymore. You're someone who is consistent. You're not someone who trays to work hard anymore. You're someone who works hard. It's not just what you do, it's who you are. And when it becomes who you are, you carry that discipline into every part of your life. If you can show discipline in your health for 21 days, that same discipline shows up in your finances. If you can show discipline in your work for 21 days, that same discipline shows up in your relationships. You start making better choices. You start showing up differently. You start setting a standard in every area. And before you know it, you don't just have one area of your life transformed. You've set yourself on a path where everything around you begins to shift. But let's be real. Some of you are afraid of that shift because once you build that kind of foundation, you can't go back to blaming everybody else. You can't go back to living sloppy. You can't go back to being inconsistent and making excuses. You'll know too much. You'll know what you're capable of. And that knowledge is powerful, but it's also scary because now you're accountable to yourself at a higher level. That's what discipline does. It raises the bar permanently. And I know some of you are thinking, what if I slip up after 21 days? What if I fall? Listen to me. It's not about never slipping. It's about knowing how to get back up. The difference between someone who has no foundation and someone who's built one is this: when the one with no foundation falls, they collapse completely. But when the one with a foundation falls, they stumble, but they don't break. They get back up quicker, stronger, because their life is no longer built on feelings. It's built on discipline, not critics. And that's why I'm pushing you so hard right now. Because once you cross this line, you're going to realize that 21 days wasn't the finish line. It was the starting line. It was just to show you what's possible. It was just to give you proof that you can be consistent. It was just to break the old patterns and plant new ones. And from that point on, the rest of your life is built differently. Don't get it twisted. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not flashy. Nobody's clapping for you when you're grinding quietly. But let me tell you something. Those 21 days in the dark are going to create years in the light. Those 21 days when nobody noticed are going to give you decades of results that everybody will notice. And it's not because of luck, not because of talent, not because of some magical moment. It's because you laid a foundation of discipline and refused to move off it. So you've got a choice to make. Do you want to live the rest of your life starting and stopping, building and tearing down, making promises and breaking them? Or do you want to live on a foundation that never moves, never cracks, never fails you when life gets real. Because here's the truth. You can keep living the same cycle you've been in, or you can give yourself 21 days of discipline that set you up for a lifetime of strength. Not critics. The life you've been dreaming about isn't waiting on luck. It isn't waiting on a miracle. It isn't waiting on the perfect time. It's waiting on your discipline. It's waiting on you to lay a foundation so solid that nothing can shake it. Because once you've got that, you've got everything. So I'm asking you, not just for 21 days, but for the rest of your life, build it on discipline. Build it on consistency. Build it on a foundation that can't be broken. Because if you do, you'll never have to wonder if your future is secure. You'll know it is. Because 21 days is not the end. It's just the beginning.